Good morning, mathematicians. We are looking at Wednesday of week 32, and we're starting off with a coordinate plane. Number one says point blank is located at over 3 up 1.5. So let's start at the origin. All movement starts at the origin. If I go over 3, because that is my x coordinate, and if I go up 1.5, what point am I at? I am at point A. So we already have number one. Number two says point 8 is located at blank, comma, blank. So let's find point H. It is right here. We need to decipher how far we go over on the x. Well, if I go over to the 7, I'm not quite there. The 8 is too far. So really, I'm going over exactly 7.5. So I know that my x coordinate is going to be 7.5. Now I have to decipher how far up I go because that's going to give me my y coordinate. If I go up 1, I'm not quite there. If I go up, I am too far. Really, this is up exactly 1.5. So that is exactly my y coordinate. So my x is 7.5, my y is 1.5. Question 3 says point blank is 5 units away from the x-axis. So notice, boys and girls, the x-axis is the one that lays on its side. The y-axis is my up and down axis. I always think of the side of a y being that up and down. So this question number 3 is really asking us which of these points is exactly 5 units away. So here's the x-axis. If I travel up, when do I get to the 5? I get to the 5 right here. So point B is 5 units away from the x-axis right here. It is exactly 5 units away. All right, my next question says, draw lines between points A and H, and then F and G. So the first thing I'm going to connect is A and H. So I'm going to use my handy dandy Post-it notes as a way to show you you don't always have to have the best math tools. We can get creative when we're doing our homework. I'm always just looking for your effort. Certainly you can use the edge of a book even to do that. So we have A and H connected. Now we're going to connect F and G. So F and G, of course, is a vertical line that we are creating, whereas A and H is a horizontal line. So we have now done number 4. Now, number 5 says circle 1. The lines between points A and H and F and G are they parallel lines or are they perpendicular? Parallel lines would be one of them here, another one, add another horizontal line where they would continue forever and never touch, right? Or if I were trying to create something parallel to F and G, I would have to have another vertical line. That both of those lines could continue forever and never touch. That is not the case here. Instead, these are perpendicular lines. They do meet, and where they meet, they look to create a 90-degree angle. That finishes out what really is question 1 and 2 for today. And it brings us to our next question. We are to circle the shapes below that are parallelograms. What does it mean to be a parallelogram? It means that your two sets of opposite sides are parallel. A parallelogram has two sets of parallel sides, such as this shape. Notice those two opposite sides are parallel, and notice these two opposite sides are parallel. So this is a parallelogram. We're going to circle that. This triangle has exactly no sets of parallel sides. So that for sure is not a parallelogram. It's not even a quadrilateral. When I look at this rectangle, does it have two sets of opposite sides that are parallel? Take a look. These two are parallel, and yes, these two are parallel. So this is a parallelogram. When I look at this, is this a parallelogram? Does it have this side and this side parallel? And this side parallel? Absolutely, we're going to circle that. The best name I can give this shape is a trapezoid. Is a trapezoid a parallelogram? Does it have two sets of parallel sides. It has one set of parallel sides here, but the other side is not parallel. So we are not going to circle that. And this oval is not a parallelogram. It has no sets of parallel sides. Now, our next question down below is actually going to challenge your brain and your art skills to draw these shapes. So the first one that I'm drawing is a rhombus. A rhombus is a shape that does have two sets of parallel sides. So maybe I'm going to draw them like that, and then maybe I'm going to draw it like this. Okay, I need to clean that up just a little bit because I have tried my best to draw a rhombus. A rhombus, by its nature, has to have two sets of parallel sides. So these two I have tried to make parallel. And remember, the opposite angles have the same measure. So those two have the same measure, and these two have the same measure. That is a rhombus. Now, the second shape that I am to draw is a parallelogram. A parallelogram sometimes looks almost like a slanted or a squished rectangle because take a look. It has two opposite sets of parallel sides. Those are parallel, and these are parallel. Then we can further classify it once we start to look and change those angles and the length of the sides. But this is a parallelogram. Our next shape that we are drawing is a trapezoid. There are two different ways that we can draw a trapezoid. This is a right trapezoid. This trapezoid does not have one right angle, but both of these have in common that they have one set of parallel sides, but not the other. That makes it a trapezoid. And our last shape that we are drawing and considering is a rectangle. A rectangle is a parallelogram that has all right angles. My opposite sides are parallel and congruent, and every single angle is 90 degrees.